when we continue our Maine Mysteries series this morning.
Yes, if you missed last week's, Katie told us about the science behind the search for Maine's mysterious animals, and today you're taking us out to sea, huh?
That's right, Leah and Sharon. Very spooky music there. This week's Maine Mystery story takes us to the coast of York. If you're on the beach there this summer, look out over the water and you might see a tiny island with an old lighthouse standing on it. That is Boon Island, and the lighthouse there hasn't been occupied for decades. But 100 years before it was even built, the island was the site of one of Maine's most terrifying shipwreck stories.
It's a hugely appealing story, but it's just a story until you can show people the actual tangible artifacts.
Deep in the archaeology lab of the Maine State Museum lie 3 cannons.
Powder bags, black powder.
All that's left of Boon Island's most notorious shipwreck. On the stormy night of December 11, 1710, while en route to Boston, the British merchant vessel the Nottingham Galley smashed into Boon Island, a jumble of rocks 2 football fields long just off the coast of York.
On a clear day like today, you can actually see Boon Island 6 miles off the beach.
With barely any supplies and no way to make a fire or signal land for help, the crew sat there, slowly starving to death for 24 days.
And they can see boats going by and they can see smoke going from chimneys, but there's nothing that they can do.
Author Andrew Vietz literally wrote the book on the shipwreck along with historian Stephen Erickson. He knows all too well the horrors that Captain John Dean and his crew faced. After nearly 3 weeks of huddling together for warmth in the freezing cold and living off scraps and seaweed, the crew dwindles from 14 men to 10. That's when hunger finally pushes them to do the unthinkable with one of their dead.
The captain, he was a butcher in a previous life. So they asked him, Captain, can you do what you used to do? Can you make meat out of this for us? So he did.
Just days after the crew ate what used to be their carpenter, at least one of the men's bodies washed ashore Wells Beach, prompting the mainlanders to sail out to Boon Island, where they discovered the emaciated group of sailors. Later, the captain would blame the storm for the shipwreck, but the crew was eager to tell a different story, one of problems starting months before the disaster.
The men did say that they overheard the captain telling the investors aboard, yes, I took out plenty of insurance. We should be fine.
The crew accuses Captain John Dean of deliberately sinking the ship in a last-ditch attempt of insurance fraud. Vietz says in the crew's account, the men say the captain's first attempt to lose the ship was shortly after they set sail from London. Dean allegedly tried to put the ship in the path of enemy French privateers.
They're accusing him of trying to, what they said, betray the ship to the French, try to turn the vessel over for money, for profit.
That's when the ship's first mate and crew overpowered the captain's authority and escaped. But Vietz says later in the journey, John Dean regained control by force. And the rest of the story unfolded. History has always sided with the captain's account of what happened to the Nottingham Galley. But as for the truth,
it is one of the earliest Maine mysteries.
Only the waves know.
Next week is my 3rd and final Maine mystery of the series, and I'll take you to a forgotten Maine town with a tale of mysterious disappearance. That's next Tuesday on the Morning Report.
Look forward to it. That was really cool. And when you start to think it was December,
yes,
and they didn't have much to keep them warm.
They got a sail. They managed to rip one sail from the ship and make a tent, and they huddled together for 3 weeks.
Oh, boy.
Horrible.
Brutal.
Next time you think you're cold,
I know.
you don't know cold.
Think about those guys. That's an excellent story. Thank you, Katie, very much.